It could be morning, afternoon, evening, night. But happy new week. Happy new week. It's another Monday, and I'm here again with your daily reminder of who you are and all the amazing stuff you're capable of. And so today I want to remind you that you're stronger than you think. You are stronger than you think. And I know this like I know my own name. I know this like I know the color of my hair. I know this like I know my face. I know this like I know myself. You're stronger than you think. Oftentimes when we're what's the word? When we're tested on stuff, one of the best one of the biggest responses to that is this this inclination, desire to run away. And it's a joke that we make a lot here, especially here in Nigeria. Became saloni in my language, like, "Oh, should I run away?" Because we want to escape. This generation is a generation that enjoys or that regularly, often employs escapism. We want to escape. In fact, it's why social media is such a big addiction. It's why vices continue to grow and increase in their strength because people want to escape. People want to people want to escape that problem. People want to escape that situation. People don't want to be stuck in that life. People want, and the more you want to do that, the more you want to be distracted. You don't want to think about your problems. I've heard people say, I don't want to think today. So they spend the whole day watching movies. Those short social media movies. Hi King. Welcome to the live. So good to have you here. Um, and they say I don't want to think today. So they spend all day watching those short movies, or they spend all day outside, partying or doing one thing or the other. They just basically the idea is since I don't want to think about my problems, let me avoid them. That's what a lot of people do, and that's our generation. That's the culture globally these days. A lot of people don't. They cannot stand to be in that situation. And so they want to escape it. So they distract themselves with media, they distract themselves with people, they distract themselves with activity. In fact, someone distract themselves with legitimate activities like being a workaholic because you don't want to think about that thing. Hi, hello, welcome to the live. How are you doing today? Good to have you here. Um, and my point is that oftentimes it's okay to look at the problem in the face and say, okay, let's square up, like let's settle this. Hey, welcome to the live. Good to have you here. And so that's basically what I want to talk about today. Just that reminder that you are stronger than you think. You are stronger than you know. Okay, good to have you here, King. You're from India. Okay, nice to have you. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. So yeah, you're stronger than you think. You're stronger than you know. You're stronger than life would have you believe. You're stronger than the challenge. In fact, if something is happening to you, a big reason why it's happening to you is because you can handle it. I don't know. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. If something is testing your faith, if something is stressing you out, that thing is there because you can handle it. And so that has become one of my approaches to challenges is to say if this thing is happening to me, it must be because I can handle it, right? And of course, there'll be times. So I'm not saying this to mean that every time I face a problem, I'm just like, let's go or something. No, I just that's part of the process. Like if this is happening, I can do something about it. And when I realize I can't, yeah, there's then calling to God for help, praying about it, like meditating. Lord, my strength is failing, help me, stuff like that. But the initial reaction to challenges is not to run from them. That's my point. That's the point I'm making. Our initial reaction to challenges should not be escapism because you find that when you face that thing head on, You realize that, oh wait, I can actually handle this. Like, it's not that bad. And I know this because I'm somebody who has often shied away from hard conversations, or who used to shy away from hard conversations. I could not. I would rather I'd rather pass away than confront an issue. That used to be me. Until I realized that this problem is not going to go away until you confront it. And that's where it starts. It can start from the little things. This problem is not going to go away until you confront it. I mean, one of my everybody, if you anybody who has been on these lives for the past 6 months now knows that I so love the Bible character David. And one of the things I love about him is that he is so well rounded. David did that. Saul was trying to kill him. He saw Saul in a cave. He cut off his part of his robe and then went to meet him like, hey bro, see, let's talk. See, you know I could have killed you, right? So why are you trying to kill me? And we had that conversation. I'm saying even to that point, even to in a case where hi Roger, hello, welcome to the live. Glad to have you here. Even to the point where you meet with the person who's trying to kill you, he has a conversation with him. He said, look, you were at my mercy. I didn't kill you. You know you're trying to kill me, right? Why is that? Can we talk about this? I'm saying no matter how dire that situation is, it can be solved. There is no problem in this life that cannot be solved. And how I know is because scripture says there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that is gonna happen now in this world that you will be like, whoa, this has never happened before. Holy Spirit. There is nothing, there is not one thing in this life stronger than our sight. It's stronger than our reality. It's stronger than what we see happening, right? We need to come to the place where what we know is what carries us. Am I still on? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell. It's a problem with doing live with your phone, right? Is that a mobile live doesn't let you know when you're still on or not, if you're still on or not. So yeah, like I was saying, we need to come to the place where there is a consciousness, right? It's a consciousness. Whatever this is has to be handled. And so if it has to be handled, oh, I came back. Hi, Roger. Yes, I'm talking about facing challenges head on because you're strong. Ooh, sorry about that. I don't. Some days my internet just does this to me. It's an issue. Okay, thank God it's good now. Yeah, so I'm talking about facing challenges head on, and I'm just trying to remind you that you're stronger than you think. And so what that means is whatever problems come your way, you can handle them, you can face them. Um, whether it's just having a tough conversation about something or actually, seeing a big problem, going through a phase where your challenges are great and just facing it head on. I'm saying you can handle those challenges. And, you know, in times of problems, in times of challenges, your faith has to be so strong. Your focus on the solution has to be so big that you see nothing else. So it's that, yes, you can admit, oh, things are dire. Oh, my job is not, I don't have a job. Oh, um, my family is going through this. Oh, my health is this way or that way. But you have no friends. Well, there's something I say often, right? Which is that whatever you want in the world, you have to give it. So what that means is you have to become a friendly person. You have to become somebody who reaches out to people in kindness, who genuinely checks out on people, who genuinely gives love to people. If you want love, you have to give love. So if you have no friends, you have to yourself become friendly. You have to be the person who checks on people. Hi, how are you? How are you doing today? I haven't seen you in a while. Check on them. Be kind to people. In doing that, you're going to find your own community. Your community is going to grow around you with time. So yeah, I think that is how to approach that. I think that's how to approach that. So with anything that you're going through, there's the first place that you start from is there's a solution for this. There's an end for this because there's nothing new under the sun. So a there is a resolution. Every problem comes with a resolution. Every situation in itself comes with a resolution. Sometimes it might just be you speaking out about it, telling somebody you can, hey, I'm going through this. I'll help you solve it like this. Sometimes it's meditating, thinking about what the solution might be, looking at the problem. I heard something one day, and is that oftentimes problems carry their own solution within them. Sometimes it's that whatever it is, you find that there is no challenge that cannot be solved, and there is no challenge that you. My point is not even about the challenge; it's about you. Yeah, Roger, you like to be friendly because you have to be friendly. That's how it works. You kind of in doing that, you're gonna meet your own friends, and there's no with friendship is you don't have to rush into it like, oh, we're best friends forever now. No, it's probably gonna take some time to match each other's readings, but it's a great thing to have friends. So you should keep being friendly and just being nice to people and having people be welcome around you, giving people space to speak to you. Yeah, and I hope that helps, Roger. So yeah, I was saying, so the lens that I'm looking at this from is not the challenge, it's you. Whenever there's a challenge, you are able to handle it. That's why it came to you. That's why you're facing that challenge. Even result of our own actions sometimes. It says, okay, thank you, madam. You're welcome, Roger. Even when that problem is a result of your own action, even then it can be solved. There's nothing that can break your spirit. And so you will know that by first looking at every challenge from the lens of something that can be solved. Like even this can be solved. These days we have a lot of people whose spirits are easily broken. We have a lot of um sicknesses of the mind, a lot of afflictions of the mind, the heart. People are constantly hurting. People are constantly weak. People are constantly, depressed. People are constantly in sorrow. People are constantly just in pain. And the reason for that is there is something missing, right? There is a hole in us that has not been filled. There is a place in our heart that is empty. And that place, we try to fill it with the wrong things. We try to fill it with media. We try to fill it with friends. We try to fill it with partying. We try to fill it with, you know, vices, drinking, drugs, sex, anything really. The thing is, I just want to feel something other than pain. And for people, that's like what they are holding on to. But I'm saying, even that, you're stronger than. Even those addictions, you're stronger than you think. And so rather than rely on distractions to keep you sane, rather than rely on vices to keep you sane, rather than rely on, things like dopamine, endorphins, things that just excite you, adrenaline to keep you sane. I'm saying look inside that hole and look for what's missing. Why do I feel this way? What's happening? If you need to get there, see, so I'm one of those um Christians who firmly advocate for therapy because I got therapy and it changed a lot. If you need to get therapy, do that. But that thing has to be addressed. Whatever is keeping you lower than your best self has to be addressed. Sometimes I'm taking this from the angle of maybe mental health, but sometimes it's not even your mental health. It's the habits that you've willingly given yourself to. Sometimes it's the inclinations that you've willingly given yourself to. Sometimes it's the things that you've allowed into your space. The main thing is love. Yes, Roger, I talked about this in one of the previous lives. That when you love yourself, it will determine the actions that you do. No, you don't sound corny. You for real. I agree. I spoke about this and I spoke about it from the angle of self love. When you love yourself, there are certain things that you will do and there are certain things that you won't do. Just for the fact that you love yourself, it will drive you to eat right. It will drive you to exercise. It will drive you to wake up early and work. It will drive you to try to build the ideal life for yourself. That's still love. It's still proof of love. It will drive you to live right. And so, oftentimes, when vices rule our lives, addictions rule our lives, other than the fact that we're looking to fill a hole, sometimes it's even the identity question. Sometimes it's the self love question. How do I see myself? Who do I think I am? Because who I think I am will drive my actions. There are things that I will not do. I say that a lot on these lives. There are things that I will not do just because I know who I am. And so that identity, that sense of self love will also largely determine the actions you do. Why are you doing drugs? Why are you doing? Are they healthy? No. Does it help? No, not really. For it to help, you have to keep consuming it, which then doesn't help. So the question that you need to ask yourself is, what is driving me? What is pushing these actions, these habits, these weaknesses? Because we say it, I'm human, the flesh is weak, I'm only human. Yes, you're only human. But what drives your weaknesses? What keeps you from being your best self? You need to always objectively look at that. And you know how I know? Scripture tells me that I can do all things. In that scripture, for context, Paul was talking about in good times, in bad times. I know how to abound, I know how to abase. I know how to live in abundance, and I know how to manage resources. I know how to enjoy freedom, and I know how to manage myself when I'm not as free as I'd like to be. I know how to be cool when it's good. I know how to be cool when it's bad. I know how to be of good cheer when things are good. I know how to be of good cheer when things are bad. If your joy is dependent on the situation of things, you need to check it. If you are only happy when things are good and then when things are bad, by your description you are sad, then it means that your joy, your stability, your mental balance is very dependent on happenstance. It's not coming from inside. So we need to get to a place where our joy, our calmness of mind, our mental stability is not dependent on anything. It comes from within. And so that's what drives things like you going through the roughest situations and saying, I'm gonna be fine. I'll be okay. You know, it's why when things are strugglish, when it's crazy and you might be losing your mind, you go to bed and sleep. You take a walk and meditate. You see one movie, you take a break. I'm not saying never take a break. You take a break. But you come back ready to tackle stuff because you know that even this I can handle. Why? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things. And so that's why I spoke about identity earlier. What you know will really determine how you live. What you know, oh gosh, what you know will dictate to the letter how you live. You may not even know, you might not even be conscious, but what is existing in your subconscious, what is living inside you, it will be very heavily reflected in the choices you make as to your lifestyle, your life choices. For instance, to health, I know my body is a temple. If I know my body is a temple, how do you treat temples? That analogy of a body for me is the perfect scriptural analogy for what a body is. If my body is a temple, how do you treat temples? You nurture them, you care for them, you keep them clean, you treat them with sanctity. If my body is a temple, not just anybody can come into this place, not just anybody can touch it, not just anybody can manhandle it. There's a way that you act in a temple, you comport yourself. There are things you don't put filth in a temple. So I'm not gonna eat filth. I'm not going to eat. I'm not gonna fill my temple with junk. I'm not gonna fill my temple with unhealthy stuff. You keep a temple in the best possible. I mean, I go to church. The church is cleaned and painted often, so that it always looks nice. The altar is always cleaned, always vacuumed, always freshened up. So I do the same for my body because it's a temple. So I go to the gym often, I run often, I work out often, I fast often to reset my system. It's what you know, it will drive what you do, and what you know will drive your own perception of the strength that you have. Your perception of the strength you have is also coming from what you know of yourself. So it's an identity thing. And so I'm here to tell you today that you're stronger than you think you are. There is nothing that comes your way that you cannot handle. There is no problem that you encounter that you cannot handle. In the Psalms, David says it. He says, by my God, I run through troops. By him, I leap over walls. If you know the story of, David is one of the most popular Bible characters. This guy was a freaking warrior. He was so good. Scripture says that David, he and one guy killed 300 people with one weapon. What? That's how great this guy was at fighting. And he didn't train to be a warrior. He started with protecting sheep, fighting wild animals. And this is how you know that we can be big. We can be bigger than we think we are if we allow ourselves. Thank you, Roger. I'm glad you like it. You cannot stay small. You cannot keep yourself cowering. In scriptures, there's this guy Gideon, right? The city was at war, his country had been captured, and so because of the situation of things, he was hiding in a corner trying to, fresh grain. And an angel comes to him and says, "Oh, mighty man of valor." And this guy's like, "Who are you talking to? Because that's not me. I don't, what? Mighty man of valor?" Because there is a way that God already sees us. And oftentimes we don't see ourselves that way. And so, one thing that you need to start doing for yourself is you need to start seeing yourself the way God sees you. If you see yourself the way God sees you, strength will naturally come for you. You will naturally begin to find that there are things that you can do that you did not think you can do. So, if you ask David now, how did you do all these things? How did you fight all these battles? How did you subdue the entire Israel? David will say, by my God, I run through troops. By him, I leap through walls. What's my point? Your strength will come from that center, that hole I talked about, that you're filling with everything else. Just fill it with God. Let God be what's there for you. Let God be what's at your core. And you will see how God will begin to strengthen you from within. You see how God will begin to change you from within. The average human being needs to believe in something. The average human being needs something to hold on to and say, this is my core. This is my source. This is where I come from. That is the entire search for meaning of every man. The entire search for meaning that we are on. When you come to this world, and like, who am I? What am I here for? Who am I really? What kind of the reason that search you are doing is a search for God. And so, what happens when you don't find God, or when you don't cling to God, or when you don't look at God, is you start to put every other thing in that place because you need to find meaning as a person. And when that happens, because your system was already built to put God at the center, every other thing that is at your center does not strengthen you, it weakens you. For example, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit. This earphone case, for example, is built to charge the earpods inside, right? It's built to charge the earbuds, rather. This earpod is built to charge the earbuds inside. Now, if I take the earphones themselves and put them into anything else, if I put them against my power bank, my portable battery, if I put them inside my glass case, for instance, they are never going to charge. If I put them inside my MiFi, they're never going to charge. It's never going to charge. This can't charge this. This can't charge my earphones. This card holder can only hold cards, cannot charge my earphones. This cannot charge my earphones. The only thing that can charge my earphones is this. What we do as humans is the reputation is our souls should be inside this being God. What we do is we take our souls, we put them in this. We put our souls in this. We put our souls in everything else but this guy. This guy is what will charge, but we put the soul in everything else, and then you feel disjointed. You feel out of place. You can't tell why. You don't know why, but you just know that you feel out of place in this world. You just feel like something is not working. You just feel like you're not placed right. It is because you've put your soul where it shouldn't be. You see, this has a lot of space. This even has two cleaning napkins, sterilized and all of that, right? This is a perfect place for storage, but it's not good for charging. It's good for storage. So even if you put your soul here and you feel like you're in a safe place, you're in a good place, your career is good, there's no charge. This is where you need to be to charge. This. I was feeling really spiritual weeks ago. I got me. They don't want me around. Like can't fit in anywhere. So yeah, if you can't fit in anywhere, you start first by finding your place in God. Here, you start first by putting your soul where it needs to be, where it can be lifted, where it can recharge, where it can be balanced again. You start with God. That's where your strength will come from. That's where clarity will come from. In fact, you start with God and He can direct you to your own friends. I genuinely believe that all my friends were handpicked for me by God. And I know that because of the kind of peace and love I enjoy in my friendships. My friends are my sisters and brothers. I can I can rely on them with anything. I trust my friends. They're very few. My friends, very few. I believe they were handpicked by God. If that feeling of disjointment, that's my definition of dis-ease, not being at ease. So you can be whole, have great skin, body popping, body tea, be where you want to be in life, and there's still that disjointed feeling in your heart, that dis-ease of the soul, is because you are not where you need to be. Nothing but this can charge my earphones, no matter what I put them in, no matter what I connect them to. They will never charge if they are not inside this case. And so you need to, the reason why you might feel disjointed, might feel weak, might feel lost, might feel out of place is because you're putting your soul in the wrong places. You're connecting yourself to the wrong thing. You see, even love, the perfect love, even the perfect love, I'm saying the perfect love, the perfect guy, the perfect girl, the perfect person for you may not be able to fill that place. I'm saying that even the perfect relationship can still leave you empty. That is why you see people in relationships. He's a great guy, she's a great girl. I just don't know. It's just there's that disjointment. It's not you just feel dissociated. It's not settling. It's not settling because only when my earphones are charged here, that's when I can use them. I can use them for hours. I'm literally using my earphones now to speak to you. You're hearing me because my earphones are charged. So I can use them for hours. I can talk to anybody. I can listen to music. I can do anything, but only when they're charged. So even when you have the perfect friend, the perfect, by your standards, the perfect friend, the perfect job, the perfect man, the perfect woman, as long as your soul is not where it needs to be, you will feel disjointed. And that is what weakens you. That is what keeps you open to attacks of the